500 million people across Asia eat this herb every single week. It contains 64% omega-3 fatty acids, more than any fish, more than flax, more than chia, more than every supplement the industry sells. It self-seeds so aggressively that one planting creates food production that lasts for generations. Korean families have cultivated it continuously for 2,000 years. Japanese cuisine depends on it completely, yet most Westerners have never heard its name. Frank Miller here with Heritage Garden Wisdom, and the plant I'm showing you today threatens a $4 billion supplement industry, not because it's rare or difficult to grow, but because it grows like a weed and costs nothing after the first seed packet. The omega-3 supplement market generates $4 billion annually by convincing consumers that fish oil is the only reliable source of these essential fatty acids. Meanwhile, a plant with higher omega-3 concentration than any fish on Earth grows in backyard gardens across Asia, self-seeds permanently, requires zero maintenance, and has been documented in medical texts for 2 millennia. This plant was never hidden, it was systematically ignored. Not through conspiracy, but through economic structure. Research funding flows toward patentable products. Marketing budgets promote crops that require annual replanting. A self-seeding herb with superior nutritional content and no repeat purchase requirement simply has no commercial advocate. The result is erasure by neglect, and it has been devastatingly effective. Perilla frutescens, Korean Kkaennip, Japanese Shiso, Chinese Zisu. The botanical name is Perilla frutescens. Across Asia, it carries different regional names: Kkaennip in Korea, Shiso in Japan, Zisu in China. Western botanists occasionally call it the beefsteak plant. This naming fragmentation is not trivial. When a plant has no unified identity in Western languages, it has no unified presence in databases, research funding, or grocery stores. Compare this to cilantro and coriander. The same plant, different names for leaves versus seeds, but Western food culture unified these terms. Everyone knows cilantro. It appears in every supermarket. Perilla never received this unification. It remained foreign in each separate encounter, never integrated, never understood. In China, around 200 AD, scholars compiled the Shennong Benkaojing, the oldest surviving pharmacopoeia in human history. Perilla appears in its pages with detailed instructions for treating respiratory ailments with the leaves and digestive problems with the seeds. 2,000 years ago, Chinese physicians understood this plant's medicinal value comprehensively. In Korea, a royal physician named Hyo-jun spent 15 years writing the Dong-ui Bogam. He finished in 1613. This encyclopedia of Korean medicine documented 17 distinct therapeutic applications for perilla, treating coughs, calming nausea, reducing inflammation, promoting digestion. The book became Korea's most authoritative medical text and guided physicians for 4 centuries. Western scholars did not translate it until 1999. 386 years of documented medical knowledge locked behind a language barrier, while Western medicine developed entirely without access to this information. In Japanese cuisine during the Edo period, which lasted from 1603 to 1868, perilla cultivation reached 90% of farming households. Families grew it simultaneously for food, medicine, and lamp oil. Before electricity, Japanese villages pressed perilla seeds to produce oil for lighting their homes. The crop served 3 critical functions at once: food on the table, medicine in the cabinet, light in the darkness. A single perilla plant produces between 1,000 and 4,000 seeds. 85% of those seeds will germinate. They remain viable in soil for 5 years or longer. Plant perilla once during one favorable season. The next spring, it returns without permission. The spring after that, it returns again. Korean farming villages have documented perilla patches growing on the same land for 10 generations with no replanting and no seed purchase. The crop simply continues. In agricultural terms, this is called naturalization. In practical terms, this is permanent food infrastructure. One decision by one ancestor feeds descendants for centuries. The leaves contain 3.9 grams of protein per 100 grams of fresh weight, exceeding spinach, exceeding kale, exceeding most leafy greens that Western nutritionists actively promote. Calcium content reaches 230 milligrams. Iron content reaches 1.7 milligrams. Vitamin A concentration hits 5,520 international units. The leaves provide a complete nutritional package from a plant that requires no annual replanting. But the seeds hold the real treasure. In 1991, researchers at the National Institute of Nutrition in India analyzed perilla seed oil composition. They found alpha-linolenic acid concentrations between 54 and 64%. Alpha-linolenic acid is the plant form of omega-3 fatty acids. 64%! No other plant species on Earth comes close. Flaxseed oil contains 53% omega-3. Nutritionists celebrate flax as a superfood, and health food stores charge premium prices. Chia seed oil contains 58%. Perilla seed oil contains 64%, the highest concentration ever measured in any plant species, and almost no one in the Western world has encountered it. Search PubMed, the comprehensive database of medical research. Type fish oil omega-3 into the search field. You will find more than 15,000 published studies. Now type Perilla omega-3 into that same search field. You will find 400 studies. The ratio is 37:1. This disparity is not because fish oil demonstrates superior efficacy. This is because fish oil has industry funding. Supplement companies sponsor trials that support their products. Perilla research receives almost no Western industry funding. The studies that exist come primarily from Korean government institutions, Japanese universities, and Chinese research hospitals. The knowledge exists, but it exists in languages that Western databases historically under-indexed or ignored entirely. Consider what modern research has finally confirmed. In 2003, Japanese researchers published a clinical trial in the Annals of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. They administered perilla extract to patients with seasonal allergies. The treatment group experienced a 50% reduction in allergic symptoms. 50% improvement from an herb that grows like a weed. The active compound is rosmarinic acid. Perilla contains more rosmarinic acid than any other culinary herb ever tested, more than rosemary despite the name, more than basil, more than oregano. In 2010, Korean researchers studied diabetic patients consuming perilla leaf extract. Blood sugar levels after meals dropped by 23%. 23% reduction in postprandial glucose from a leaf that self-seeds in any backyard garden. The pharmaceutical industry sells drugs for this exact purpose. Perilla does it for free. The pattern becomes undeniable. Every benefit that perilla provides threatens an existing industry. Omega-3 supplements, allergy medications, blood sugar drugs, anti-inflammatory treatments. Each category represents billions in annual revenue. Each could be partially replaced by a plant that costs nothing after the first planting. This is not conspiracy. This is economics. Companies fund research that support their products. They do not fund research that would make those products unnecessary. Perilla thrives in USDA zones 4 through 10. This covers most of the continental United States and equivalent climates across Europe. The plant tolerates poor soil. It tolerates drought once established. It tolerates neglect. These are the plant seeds directly in soil after the last frost date or start them indoors 6 weeks earlier. Space plants 12 inches apart, though they tolerate crowding. Water occasionally during establishment. After the first season, supplemental water becomes optional. The plant adapts to local rainfall patterns. Harvest leaves throughout the growing season. They taste like a combination of mint and basil with hints of anise. Eat them fresh in salads, wrap them around grilled meat, add them to soups, dry them for tea. In fall, allow some plants to flower completely. The flower spikes produce thousands of seeds. Let them drop, let them scatter, let them establish next year's crop without any action required. This is the self-seeding promise. One planting becomes a permanent presence. Collect excess seeds for oil production. Small hand presses cost less than $100. Cold pressing extracts oil without damaging the omega-3 content. One harvest provides a full year of omega-3 supplementation with no capsules, no fish, no industry involvement, just a backyard and patience. For 2,000 years, Perilla has pursued a single agenda: reproduction, spreading, establishing itself wherever soil and sunlight permit. It will continue for 2,000 more. The seed companies will not tell you this. The supplement industry will not tell you this. But the plant does not care about revenue streams. Like this video, subscribe to Heritage Garden Wisdom, and share this with someone who grows their own food. Comment below, had you heard of Perilla before Frank showed you this? Every comment helps this information reach people who need it.